Hi there, this is Daniel from Guru Learning. Today, I'll demonstrate how a learner completes a task on Academy. You'll see how they submit their work, review feedback from the assessor if their response is not yet successful, and then how they resubmit their work. Finally, I'll show you how they can view and comment on other learners' responses, highlighting the social learning aspects of tasks. Here, we're currently logged in as Henry, and he is a learner participating in the Designing Sustainable Travel Experiences program. Now, he's already completed a few activities, but the next activity he needs to do is a short response task. So to start the task, he clicks the Start Task button. Once inside the task, Henry can read the instructions on what he needs to do, and then he can submit his response. So he can either now choose to save this as a draft and exit and come back to it later, or he can submit it for review. Let's submit it for review. You can see that Henry's task is now submitted and in review, and he can continue with the rest of his learning. We're now back with Henry, whose short response task has now been reviewed. And as you can see from the flag in the left-hand menu and from the status in the activity panel, he is required to resubmit his task. He has some feedback here from Evelyn Carter, who is the facilitator and the reviewer, and he has an outcome of not yet successful. So to resubmit his task, he can click on the Start Resubmission button. In here, he gets a closer up detail of what his feedback was. He again can see his outcome, and he can take a look at what the different outcomes mean. So he can take this into consideration when applying a response to his resubmission. So if we go in and we start a resubmission, by default, his initial response is still populated in the form, so you can either expand on that or you can completely overwrite that. So let's update that response and submit again. Henry has finally managed to successfully pass this task. As the social learning elements have been turned on for this task, he now has the opportunity to view the responses from other learners within the class. To do that, click on the Review Task button, and he can review his response and any comments that may be added to that by clicking on the View My Response. Here you can see that there are 4 comments, so he has the opportunity to reply to those comments, or he can go back to the View Class Responses and click through and read the responses from other learners. You can add comments if you'd like to. That's not necessary or mandatory. Another way that learners can view and comment on class responses is through the task feed. So any task that has these social elements enabled will show up in this task feed, and you can add comments to any responses where learners have chosen to opt in. That's all I have today on the learner experience for tasks in Academy. I hope you found that useful. Thank you.